All right, we should be live. Hey, everyone. Let me check if people are joining the room to make sure I'm not talking to myself here. So going to cry with all of you. Hope you're all having a great day. And as always, let me know where you're calling in from, so I know who is actually here. I see people who are already logging on, which is awesome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And let me know if you can actually hear me and see me as well. And that way we can get started with the retargeting blueprint. That is what we're going to talk about. The retargeting blueprint. All right. Cool. Paul is here from the UK. Welcome, Paul. Appreciate you being here. Connecticut, USA, Robert. Welcome, Robert, as well. Marlene from the UK as well. Paul can even hear me, which is great, right? Let's see who else is here. Let me know in the chat. Don't just sit there and listen. It's always good to interact with each other because, it's more fun that way, right? Do we record this? Yes, we do record this call, and we'll add it into your members area of your Connectio account. This is only for our Connect Suite customers, so it's added inside the dashboard, inside the Learning Center there. Andrew from Cologne in Germany, if I'm not mistaken, right? Anne from Belgium. Hey, Justin from the US, Gary from New York. Peggy is in the house as well. We even got a Dutchie, Punim. It's weird, like that's the name I can't pronounce, and he's actually from my own country. My total mistake. So cool. Let's get started. As actually, quick question as well. Who here was here a couple of weeks ago? 2 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, I did another training for our Connect Suite customers, and I figured, you know what? Let's do it again. And I've been thinking about like when I do these kind of trainings, I realize that everyone is at different levels, different part of their business. Some people are getting to start their business. Some people are already running a lot of ads on Facebook. Some people are into e-commerce. Some people are into B2B. So what I try to do is like I zoom into one specific thing, and I try to make it as actionable and approachable for everyone as possible. So today we are talking about retargeting. I'm actually going to switch on my screen, and cool, various people were here last time around. I really appreciate that. Peter, which seems like you're Dutchy as well. Peggy was there as well. Awesome. Hey, George, welcome in the house. And for those who were here last time, you've probably noticed that we're keeping this a bit more, I would say, lightweight. It's not like if there's questions in between, we can do that. I'm going to draw things on my iPad to make things more clear. And just so you know, this is only for our Connect Suite customers or Connect Suite community. So there's nothing for sale or anything like that. This is just trying to over deliver and help you guys and girls get more results from your Facebook ads. So let me just do it like that. All right, so the retargeting blueprint. Now, I'm going to assume. Well, I'm actually not going to assume. I was going to assume that everyone knows what retargeting is, but you never really know, right? So I just want to make sure that everyone knows what retargeting is. So retargeting is obviously, and actually I like to sketch things out when I'm talking, because that way it's just sometimes just more visual. So if you see me do that every now and then, that's just to make it more easier to understand, basically. So retargeting is obviously like if someone goes to your website, so this would be your website, and someone goes to your website, like what happens if they don't make a purchase, right? Like some will make a purchase, but most people won't. So obviously with retargeting, you can make sure to get those people back, right? So like they're on Facebook group, this is Facebook, and then they'll see your ad if they have watched, if they've visited your website, right? And obviously you can run retargeting ads on, for example, Google Ads and YouTube and all these other places. But right now we are talking about Facebook retargeting, right? So that I'm going to assume that everyone understands what retargeting is. I just wanted to make very sure. So that's what retargeting is. So we're showing Facebook ads to people who visited your site in the past, right? Now, why is it important to retarget? It's always a good question, right? Because, like, to me, like if I talk to someone and they're talking about their Facebook ads and they're asking like, hey, how do I improve? Like, how do I get more results from Facebook ads? Or like, hey, I'm not getting the results I want. The first thing I ask them is, are you running retargeting ads, because it is literally the lowest hanging fruit, right? Because if you think about it, like I think a lot of people of you've probably heard of the rule of 7, right? The rule of 7, and I think these days it's not really a 7 anymore. It's quite a bit of an outdated document, but like what it basically means is that people need to see you or your brand or like some kind of communication from your business at least 7 times before they make a purchase. Now, that's obviously not always true, right? People buy things at a first glance as well. But for a lot of people, they need to see your business or your page multiple times, right? And the more expensive your product is, the longer that sales cycle is. Like, for example, right now, my wife and I were looking for a new car because we got a baby on the way and like we need to have an upgrade, right? Like that's something that we'll check out a lot more than, like, it will be more than 7 touches before you buy. If I'm going to buy a new book, it might just be 1 touch, right? So it always depends. So what I'm saying is, like, people need to, most people need to see your page multiple times, and especially these days, like, the attention span is so short, right? Like if you show a Facebook ad to the right person, or you get them onto your website to the right person, they're the perfect person. And what I mean with that is, like, they would be a potential customer of you. They have the problem that you solve in your business, right? And they go to your website, right? And they don't make a purchase, even though they were the right person. Chances are they are not going to remember you tomorrow, right? They may think, oh, I need to check that out. Maybe they're on their phone and like, oh, that's actually cool, I should check that out. But by tomorrow, they will not remember you. And that's simply because, like, we get hundreds of messages in front of us. And that's obviously where retargeting comes in, right? Thanks, Tanya, appreciate it. And so when I look to that side, it's because that's where my screen is. Hopefully that's all cool. Let me just move things around so I can actually have the screen here as well. Make it better. Cool. So, and what I've seen as well is that when, like, with some of my campaigns, like, I'm going to sketch things out again. Where is my screen? There it is. So if you're running ads to cold audience, right? So this is a Facebook ad to people who have never heard of me before. So this is not a retargeting ad. So, like, I'm just trying to get people into my website, right? And try to get them to make a purchase. Again, most people won't actually buy. So perhaps, maybe 2% makes a purchase, for example, right? I've had campaigns where, like, I spend a certain amount of dollar, like, for example, like, let's say it would be $100 right here, and I would make back maybe, like, I don't know, for example, like $50, right? Like, my point is, like, I've seen campaigns that were just losing money, right, from that first ad. But it was because I added a retargeting ad to get people in, and people who actually, visited my site. And then I spent maybe, like, I don't know, maybe not an extra $50 there, but it resulted in like $200 or $300 extra, right? So now I've spent a total of $100 plus $50. Again, this is like fake numbers, right? Just to get my point across. I spent $150, but I made back $250. But without the retargeting, if I would have just have done this part, right, it would have been a losing campaign. Again, I don't have the numbers right now, but I've seen this multiple times. And my point here is, if you're not running retargeting ads, you are missing out. That's really my point that I'm trying to make, and that I need you to know before we even dive further, right? So there's obviously multiple types of retargeting, right? The most common ones are website retargeting. So someone goes to your website, and you want to show an ad to people who visit your website. Video retargeting, for example, if you have videos on your Facebook page, you can create an audience saying, like, hey, if people watched at least 10 seconds of my video, or at least 50% of my video, then you can retarget those people as well. I actually spoke about that in the training 2 weeks ago. So if you want to check that, it's in the members area in the learning center of your Connectio account. And email retargeting as well. That is for, like, all of you, if you're here, you will have access to Connect Suite, which means you have access to Connect Audience as well. Just so you know, using Connect Audience, you can synchronize your email list into Facebook. And that means that if this is your email list, just to make sure, like your autoresponder list, so like you have a customer list, you can automatically send that to Facebook as a custom audience, right? And that means you can then run ads to people who are on your email list, right? So in other words, email retargeting. Now, today we're going to focus on website retargeting, right? Like don't want to go into everything. One of the feedback I got last time is that it was a great training, but it was too much, right? So I tried to make it more actionable and focus on the things that I think I know is going to help you get more value. Like I know is going to help you get more results. So we're going to talk about website retargeting. Like if someone visits your website to get them back, and like what do you show to these people? Like what ads do you actually create for those people, right? So what I used to do the first time I started doing retargeting ads, let me just move this around. The first time I started running retargeting ads, to be honest, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. Like all I heard was someone said like, hey, you need to run retargeting ads because it's so simple. So I was like, all right, I'll create a retargeting ad. So I went into Facebook and I created a retargeting ad, right? I said like, hey, people who visited my website, show them this ad. And what I did in terms of what I wrote in the ad, it was pretty much, I would say, the same as what they've seen on the website, which is good, right? Like if the website, my message was like, hey, I don't know, let's say it's an ad for Connect Explore. It's a tool to find audiences on Facebook ads. Like whatever I would have on the sales page, I would pretty much repeat that in the Facebook ad, and that on itself is not a bad thing. Like it's not wrong, but it kind of works. But I realized that it's good as a reminder for people who visit your website, as a reminder to come back, right? But usually that's not the only thing that they need to hear, right? So if you're running retargeting ads and you just have the same message over and over, you're not doing things wrong, but you could be doing things better. Put it like that. So to understand like what kind of ads work best, the best way to look at it, that I look at it, is to look at like how do people make a decision to buy your product or service? Like what do they actually need? Like how do we influence their buying decision to make sure that instead of just browsing through your website and not actually signing up as a customer? And again, it doesn't matter if you're selling some coaching or you're into e-commerce or you're selling some other services or software or whatever it is. But people use certain things through all that clutter that's going on online, to decide, all right, this product I'm going to buy, this I'm not going to buy, this one I'm going to buy, this one I'm not going to buy, not buy, etc. So how to make sure we're getting up in the right side of the fence? Well, there's a couple of different things that have a big impact on how people influence. And the first is obviously social proof. Right? I can tell you all like, hey, maybe you've seen my ads for Connect Explore. I can tell you all day long like, hey, Connect Explore is awesome. But what's probably even more powerful is if you see other people saying the results they're getting. That's why in my marketing you'll see me referring to our customers' results, because that is oftentimes way more powerful, right? Because we can all say like, hey, it's the best service in the world, but if someone else says it, it's just so much more powerful, right? So that is one thing, obviously, that we can, if we show that to people, and I'm going to show you a very simple ad that's my best performing retargeting ad that you can all just copy paste like right after this call. So you'll get that in just a little bit. So one is social proof. Number two is obviously like people do like a deal or a discount, right? Like we can say that's not the case, but it's definitely the case. Like people like a discount, or at least they like the feeling of having a good deal. So that's always something that you can address as well. If someone left, like especially in e-commerce, a lot of people do that. Someone left their site without buying. Sometimes you'll see like, hey, you get a 25% discount if you sign up right now. And that it's not even just about the money saved, but it's about the feeling of having a good deal as well. Number three is obviously scarcity. Like there's one thing to like, it's good to have an offer, right? If you have something extra that you can give, or maybe a discount or something like that, that's good, right? But the most powerful thing, as crazy as it is removing it afterwards, and obviously letting people know that you're removing it. So obviously, if you're right here, you're a Connect Suite customer, and you may have seen some of our marketing and some of the way we promote our business, and you've probably noticed that every once in a while we do a special offer on something. Like we'll have a discount, for example, with Black Friday, we usually do a discount, and when we do a multiple day discount, right? And we send out an email to all of our people who are on our list who haven't yet purchased, like, hey, we got this awesome deal. Quite a few people sign up on the first day because like, oh, cool, there's a good deal going on. Let me get it, right? Like some people will respond, and then usually the second day we'll send an email out with like social proof, like testimonials from our customers, right? But you know where we get most of our customers every single time, like not like no exception, always the biggest day is right before we remove the offer. On the last day, we always say like, hey, this is today, that's it, this is it, this is the last day you're gonna be able to get this, you're gonna get this offer, because after that we're gonna increase the price again, or we're gonna remove this bonus or whatever it is. And that's always the biggest driver, and that's just proof that scarcity works big time. Only if you actually genuinely do it. Like if you see someone who's saying like, hey, remove it, and it's not removed, that's not cool. But like if you have an offer and it's closing down, let people know about it, right? And you can leverage this in your ads as well. Again, I'll talk more about that in just a second. And number 4 is overcoming objections, right? So imagine this. Let's say someone goes to your website and they're interested, right? Social proof, if they would see other people use it, yeah, that would get them closer to saying yes and becoming a customer, right? If they would happen to see that you have a great deal going on, that might actually get them over the fence, especially if that is also being removed. But there's also a good chance, and you as the business owner probably know this best, there's a good chance that when people see your website and they consider like, should I become a customer or not, they're going to have certain objections. And what that is different for every business, right? Like it could be like maybe for a viral, like people may say like, hey, it sounds cool and all, but my website isn't ready yet, right? Or it sounds cool and all, but whatever, like I don't think I can do it, right? Like they'll have in their mind, they have a reason not to buy, right? Or like, and whatever, like maybe you have a certain service and there's, and potential customers always ask you the same thing. Like, how do I need to have this? Like, that's a good sign of like what people are like what is the conversation that's going on in their mind to decide whether or not they should be buying. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because usually there's a couple of clear objections that keeps everyone from like thinking like, should I sign up for your business or not? Like, should I make this purchase or not? And what's really good is like, if you can actually address those objections. And if you've seen any of my offers, right, and this is more about the offer creation, but like if you've seen any of the offers I put out, usually you'll see there's some bonuses, some extras I give away as well. That's not just to be nice or just to be you know, cool and all that. But usually I look at like, hey, what is like, for example, I could, if let's say I would sell one of the Connectio tools, and maybe an objection would be like, oh, but I don't know what ads to create. What I could do is I could give away a bonus, right? Saying like, hey, I'm going to do a course, or I'm going to do a training on how to create converting Facebook ads, right? Because they had the objections. I don't know how to write the ads, and now I cover that with just saying like, hey, you're going to get a bonus where I'm showing you, I'm going to teach you how to create those ads. And that would overcome that objection, right? And the way this translates into retargeting ads is obviously like, what ads are you going to create, right? I'm going to make it a bit more concrete. So for social proof, this is the one, my most favorite Facebook ad. It's the easiest one to create, and you can all do this, right? So this is just an example, right? But essentially, one of the ads I'm showing, if people go to my website, right? And we're not running it all the time. Maybe you've seen it, maybe not. I don't know. We're running it on and off. But if people go to our website, one of the most powerful things is like they leave our website, and then we show them an ad. And all we do is like, hey, you know, here's what our customers have said. Like, thanks again for joining our webinar. Like, this is retargeting ad after they've joined the webinar. Here's what kind of results our customers are getting, which we want for others as well. Boom, 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 right? And as you can see, I actually do add a little bit of scarcity there as well. But as you can see, like it's just a carousel ad where I just have a picture of a customer with the text, we collect over 100,000 new subscribers using a viral. And that's the second one. We've now tipped over 208,000 subscribers using a viral, right? So it's not like super, I'm not trying to persuade them into all kinds of crazy things. It's actually a really short ad. And all you need to do for this is to ask your customers, right? If you have customers already, ask your customers like what they think, and ask them if you can actually use that in your ads as well, or the ad permission, right? It's a really simple ad, but if you show this to people after they've left your website, this is, that, first of all, it reminds them to go back to your website, sure, but it's like, wow, like this business isn't just looking good, but their customers are actually getting the results you want to have. And this works in any kind of business, right? Like, obviously with a viral, for example, it's very much result based, like people want to see what the result is. But I've seen e-commerce shops where instead of just showing the product, whatever it is, like a necklace or something, right? They would then also show pictures, like user generated pictures of their client, like, hey, here's, and they show what they did for those people. Like it could be like that someone gives it as a present and someone's like super happy with it, like something like that. Like even that is like social proof, right? It's other people enjoying that product and raving about it. So if you're not yet running ads, for everyone who's watching this right now, if you're not yet using ads and you're considering what should I do, this is the ad I would recommend you to run. Like it's always awesome to say like, hey, we're doing all these crazy different things, but if there's one thing I would recommend you to do, it is an ad where you just say how awesome your product is from the words of your customers, not from you, right? And just in case we don't have any customers, you can even ask other people around you, like, and it has to all be real and genuine, right? That's obviously given, but you can obviously say like, you can ask people like, hey, you can give away your product or service, do it for free, and hey, and can I, like, what do you think? And can I use that in my ads? And then you just say, instead of saying, hey, here's what our customers are getting, it's like, here's what other people said, right? Like, it doesn't have to be customers, it can be anyone. Cool, that good? All right, so that is the one ad I would highly recommend you to do. And now, just so you know, I'll add this PDF as a PDF in the members area as well. So you can just check it out at your own pace as well, no worries. And as for the second part that we had, like a great deal of discount, it depends what we do. Sometimes we just show like a demo because we already had a special offer. Like it could be a really simple ad, right? So here's a quick demo to show how this works so well, and with the link to the actual special offer that we had at that time, right? So really, like one of the things you can definitely do, which is sort of what I used to do in the beginning as well, is repeat the same message over and over. What I mean with that is just remind them why your product is awesome, like, and not say like feature 1, feature 2, feature 3, but what's the end result people actually get. Like for a viral, I could show an ad like, hey, this is how viral works, and what it actually does, it shows them how many leads people are getting and what an impact it'll have on their business, right? I try not to go too much into the techie little details for that. And number 3 in ad is a scarcity ad, right? So this means that if you have a special offer, for example, you are going to take it away. And if you are in my community, maybe you've seen many of my ads where I run, usually in the last 2 days, I run a Facebook ad, which are like, hey, well, we're closing this offer down. Like, I don't want to interrupt you on your Facebook newsfeed, but we are closing it down, and I don't want to get messages later on saying, like, on a support desk asking to get into that deal because it's closing down on Sunday night, midnight Pacific time. So if you want to get it, do it now, right? Something like that. Usually I'll just shoot a quick video with my phone, right? I try not to overcomplicate it, but you can do it you can even do a written one as well. Like for example, here you see a written one. All right, time's up. We're closing the special Connect Explorer offer, lifetime license tonight. No exceptions. It's your last chance. Get it here. Boom, boom. This was when the first launch was, right? And it's just a pre-written, sort of text-based a text-based ad with an image, right? And that's it. So these days, I usually do a quick video ad, but to be completely selfish, that's actually because I prefer to just shoot a quick video. It saves me time versus writing a Facebook ad. So I would definitely suggest to go with what your style is, right? But if you have a special offer that you're closing down, or if you have if you can add something to your service, like if you don't want to do a discount, that's fine. But you could say like, hey, what is it? Like soon it's going to be St. Patrick's Day. Like, hey, because it's St. Patrick's Day, we've decided for everyone who joins this week, we're going to add something, right? Like some kind of a bonus. And then at the end of the week, like, hey, and like, as mentioned, like we're closing it now. Like if you get access before Sunday night or Monday night, for example, you're still getting that bonus, right? If you do it after, it's gone, right? So that way you force people to make a decision. So that's very, very, very powerful as well. And as mentioned, I don't have an ad right now to show, but if you have any objections that people will have, I would like that is really a roadblock from getting people through your funnel. In other words, to get people from visiting your website and actually signing up as a customer, right, buying your product. If there's any major objections that's holding them back, please do address that. And again, this could be as easy as let me give you an example. So Larry says like, yeah, I've seen scarcity ads and emails from you. Yes, because they work, right? That's why we do it. So the objections, let's say what's a good example? Let's make it more interactive. Drop me the first one who drops their business in, or one of the first. I'll pick one. I'll use that as an example. So let me know what your business is selling, what you're trying to sell, and I'll see if I can come up with an objection and a good example for that. I'm actually curious. So let's make it a bit more interactive, boys and girls. And there is a little bit of a delay. So I'm just talking to myself right now while I'm waiting for your people to actually write something. I see a URL is the locker. It's a little bit hard to open the URL. I see a lot of people, right? Photography online course, right? Matthias, there's a lot of people going on. All right, a photography course. So like, how do you make good pictures? I've got a good one, right? You sell a photographic course, right? People are interested and they love like good photographs, but a good chance is that they might not have the equipment that they think they need, right? Because all these professionals, they have like the best camera and they like to make better pictures, but they don't have the right equipment, or at least they feel they don't, right? So then it actually, you could create an ad where you just grab your phone and say like something like, hey, I noticed you checked out my course, but I realized you didn't pick it up yet. I realized you didn't pick it up yet. And it might be because you don't have the right equipment, right? But I tell you what, if you sign up right now, you actually get a bonus where I'm going to show you how to do all of this using your mobile phone. That's all you need. Like I'm literally, like I'm recording this with my mobile phone myself, right? All you have to do is your mobile phone, and I'm going to show you how to create the best pictures that you can put on social media and make you look awesome, right? Boom. Like in other words, you add a bonus to overcome the objection. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that that is the main objection people have. I'm just guessing, right? You will know better from your audience, from your customers, what kind of questions they ask. But that's a good way of doing that. Like you can literally do an ad for that. Like if they left your website and a lot of people are going to have those objections, then you can remind them of like overcoming those objections. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Cool. A lot of businesses here. Sarab, we're welcome. Let's see, I can do one more example. Which I'm not familiar with most markets. So online training for internal communicators in small, medium enterprise. I don't know what the objection could be there, but like maybe the objection is like, how do I get the rest of the business to buy it? Maybe they are actually convinced they should get it, but they're like, how do I get this through the whole organization? Like I'm just guessing, but in that case, you could run an ad like get the 5 tips to convince the rest of your team or something like that, or like address that objection, and basically whatever the objection is, make it go away. Like make it easy by solving the problem for them, by having education that will help them. Right? Again, I'm not familiar with that specific market, obviously, but that is That's a fourth type of retargeting ad. Now, where to start, right? If you want to create Facebook retargeting ads and you're not running them yet, the first one, lowest hanging fruit, highest priority, is to create a social proof ad, right? Just let the world know that like what your customers are saying about you. That is going to be the lowest hanging fruit. First of all, because it's really easy to create, right? You don't have to be a creative copywriter or anything like that. Secondly, because social proof just works really, really well. Step two is a reminder offer ad. Like if you have an offer, like if you have a special deal, like remind them, or if you can give away a discount, or if you can add a bonus, like that's also an offer. If you can make the offer better, let them know in another Facebook ad, and a scarcity ad as well if you are removing it. And you could actually do number 2 and 3 in the same ad, right? You could even say, like usually it works best if you do scarcity, like, hey, it's gonna close down at a certain period, right? Like, hey, on Sunday night, because people know exactly when it is. But you could combine the reminder and this offer and the scarcity in one, where you say something like, hey, saw you check out my website, but if you but like to make it even better, we just added this special bonus for you, but it's only available as long as this page is up, so hurry up. So something like that, where you're being honest, right? But you're making clear that it's not going to last forever, right? As long as the page is up, right? As long as this, so that way it's like, like maybe it's going to be gone soon, but I really want to have that bonus, right? So then, that's my Siri is talking. Crazy iPad. So that way you make sure there is some scarcity and some urgency right in there as well, right? Again, it's not as powerful as saying like, hey, it's going to close down at this and this date, and they know about it, they see a deadline, like a countdown timer, all that. That's usually even more powerful, but this way works as well. Does that make sense? Are we cool so far? Hopefully we are. Let me know in the chat, because I don't just want to say like what kind of ads I would create if I were you, and which ads are working best for me, but also like who do you actually target, right? Oops. So I'm gonna zoom in on that. Who do you actually target? Because obviously we've been talking about running retargeting ads on Facebook, people who visit your website, right? But still, like there's choices you have to make, right? So what I used to do is like basically everyone who visited my website, right? I would just enter like viral.com, and everyone who visited my website, I would just retarget them, right? I would like show a Facebook ad, but not every visitor is created equal, right? Like not every visitor has the same level of interest. Not every visitor, is a potential customer, right? Even if you just go into your Google Analytics account, for those who are using Google Analytics, I think you all do, you'll see something called the bounce rate, right? The bounce rate is the number of people, the percentage of people that go to your website, and without doing anything, they leave your website right away, right? In other words, they bounce your site. In other words, they're not interested, or at least not very likely, right? They saw something on your site and they're like, gone, right? So what I started doing, and all of you have access to this as well, is it's called Connect Retargeted inside your Connectio account. What I started doing is running behavioral retargeting ads. And the best way to explain what this is let's say you have a shop, right? Let's say you have a physical shop where you sell clothing, right? Like, and you're the shop owner, you're in the store, you're working hard. It's a Saturday, and you really want to get a new customer in. And there's 4 people in your shop. They all, they just walked in roughly at the same time. 3 of them, they have a quick glance and they walk out the door, right? They just go. And there's one of them, this girl, so like, and she's checking out all these different clothes. She's trying something on. She's thinking about it, and also she's leaving the shop without making a purchase. Now, if you have a chance to go after one of those people to try to convince them otherwise, like, hey, we have a discount or something, right? Who do you think is going to be your best bet? Well, it's obviously the one girl that really checked it all out, that was really interested, right? And that was really what got me to start running behavioral retargeting ads. In other words, instead of retargeting everyone, we're targeting people who are behaving in a certain way. For example, right, this is my favorite, is people who scroll down to at least 25% of the page. Because if you've seen any of my sales pages, usually they're pretty long. It's not like one page, but you'll have to scroll down, right, to read it all, right? And I know that if someone actually scrolls down to a certain percentage, they are at least somewhat interested. Like all the target people who are not even remotely interested, they'll just, they'll open the page and boom, they're gone. Like, and those people, although some of them might actually be interested, most of them really are not, right? So that's when I started doing behavioral retargeting and just showing ads to those kind of people to see what that would do to my ROI. Like the lowest hanging fruit of that is people who scroll down to a certain part of your page. That is the lowest, and I'll show you in a little bit how to actually do that. All of you have access to this, so it's really awesome. Like scroll down to a certain part of your page if they do that, or if they spend a certain amount of time on your site, right? Like if they spend, for example, 30 seconds or 40 seconds on your page, then probably they're more interested as well than others, right? And actually, I got a split test I did between normal retargeting and behavioral retargeting. The video is a little bit old. Yeah, I did it because I don't have a recent video case split test, but I do want to show this video nonetheless to all of you because it will show you how effective this is. And we, like a lot of our customers, have seen similar results, but I can't share all our customers' results, obviously. And if you have used Connect or Target, like actually drop your results in the comments. I'd love to read it. But I just want to play you a quick video. Again, it's a bit of an old video, but it will show you. I will show you the difference between running normal retargeting ads versus behavioral retargeting ads. Here we go. Hey, it's me, Wilke the Cry here, and in this short video I want to show you a case study of how I used Connect with Target to cut my ad spend in half while I doubled the amount of sales that I got from it. So recently we ran a special offer on our software platform UpViral, and during this special offer people could get access to it for only $297 a year. Now, obviously I ran a retargeting campaign, and as you can see right here, here are all the statistics on that. And the first audience, the first ad set is targeting an audience which are all the people who visited our sales page. And this is a normal retargeting audience. Now, all the others are created using Connect with Target. So let me just go over what each of them does. So this ad set is targeting everyone who visited our pre-launch page for at least 1 minute. This one is targeting everyone who visited our sales page, our special offer sales page, and stayed there for at least 1 minute. Everyone who visited our special offer and stayed there for at least 5 minutes. Everyone who visited our special offer and came back at least 3 times, so without making a purchase, but they came back multiple times. Everyone who went to our pre-launch phase and they scrolled to at least 50%, so at least they engaged with it. Or everyone who went to our special offer and they scrolled to at least 50% of the page. It was a long sales page, so if they scroll all the way to 50%, that's roughly around here, then at least we know that they're somewhat or pretty much engaged with the actual tool that we're actually selling. Now, let's dive into the numbers. The first audience, like I said, that's the normal retargeting audience, and as you can see, we spent just over 219 euros to get in the total of 31 sales. These are the amount of sales. Here is the cost per sale, so you can see that's exactly €7.07 for every sale. So we got 31 sales from 219 euros using a normal audience. Now let's compare that to all the Connect with Targeting audiences. And just so you know, let me just open up one of these ads so you can actually see what the ads look like. So we got that covered as well. So let me just go into the ad, ad 1. As you can see, I didn't run any split test on that. I just ran one ad for this whole campaign. And as you can see, we just added a series of testimonials from our customers in an ad where they can just slide through, as you can see right here. And that's all we did. So let me just go back to the ads, to the campaign. So like I said, 219 euros for 31 sales at just over 7 euros each. Now, for all the Connect with Target audiences, you can see they're all between 1 and 2 euros each. These two have the highest ones, is close to 2 euros, but they're all between 1 and 2 euros each. So let me just get my calculator, see how much we actually spend exactly on the Connect with Target audiences, all added up. And 17.47. So as you can see, we spent a total of 124 euros and 22 cents, and we did that in order to get, let me just add it up as well, 17 plus 15. we get a total of 104 sales from that. So did I do that correct? No, almost like that. Sorry, my mistake. 85 sales. 85, a total of 85 sales. So if we divide that, let's say that's 124 divided by 85, that's €1.46. So we went from using the exact same ad and the exact same sales page, exact same everything. The only thing we changed was the actual audience, and we went from spending €7.07 on every sale to €1.46 on every sale. So in total, we spent around half of what we were spending before. Like I said, we spent €124 on all the Connect Retarget ads altogether, and we got 85 sales from it, while we spent €219 on getting 31 sales. And that's because with the normal audience, we're spending a lot of money on people who are not even remotely interested in our tool. And here we're spending only money on people who we actually know are interested. And as you can see, all the cost per clicks are lower as well, even though that's not even as relevant because it's all about making sales, right? But if that's what you care about, that's even lower as well, because Facebook knows these people are going to be more engaged. You're going to have a higher click-through rate because these people are actually already engaged with your tool. So there you have it. Like I said, we roughly cut our ad spend in half. We more than doubled the amount of sales that we got from it, all by changing up the retargeting audiences using Connect Retarget. Hope this helped you in making your decision. Cheers. All right, so I hope that made it clear how powerful behavioral retargeting is. And actually, I wanted to show you all how that works as well, because again, you all have this inside your account, and also saw some questions which we're going to address right after as well. So if you have any further questions, please do let me know in the chat. Actually, let me just go back real quick to this right here, because I wanted to make sure that we know the action steps as well, right? So if you're running, like we already spoke about the action steps that I recommend for what ads to create. Like I recommend you to, oops, where is it? Like lowest hanging fruit is social proof ad. And then after that, or like an offer ad, like where you show your offer, and potentially a scarcity ad, but like this is the lowest hanging fruit, right? And in terms of the action steps of who do you actually target, right? These are the action steps. Like yes, you can do normal targeting, but since you all have access to Connect Suite, I'd highly encourage you to do the following. Install the Power Pixel to your website. I'm going to show you that in a little bit. Create an audience for everyone who scrolled down at least 25% of your site. That is my favorite audience, right? Like if people scroll down to at least 25%, then they're going to be included, and run ads to that audience, right? So that is my recommendation. So inside of Connectio, if you go to audience and then to retarget your website visit, like if you haven't done it before, first thing you need to do is create a Power Pixel, right? So this is basically a similar, like it basically is a similar version as your Facebook Pixel. It includes your Facebook Pixel, but we send extra data over to Facebook to make sure they know like when people actually scroll down to 25%. We don't store any of the data. It's all GDPR approved, but that way, so I would enter a name for the pixel. Right now, I'm not going to do that, but because I already created the Power Pixel, I'm just saying if you haven't yet. And there's also training videos inside the loading center as well. Obviously, that will guide you through that process. And once you've done that, right? Let me just go back here. Once you've created a Power Pixel, let's just see. You will get the actual code to add to your website, right? So this would be the code to add to your website. And depends on what you're using, whether it's ClickFunnels or whether it is WordPress or whether it is Lead Pages or whatever page it is. Usually you'll find a place where you can add code to your website, right? Like where you can add some tracking codes. If you're using WordPress, I recommend you to use the WordPress plugin, WordPress header footer. I'm just gonna Google for it right here. Insert headers and footers. That's a good, easy, and simple plugin. Is this the best one? Yeah, it's this one. Like it's installed on 900,000 sites. So this is a popular one. This is usually what I do for WordPress. It does allow you to add some codes into it. So once you've added this to your website, what you can then do is create an audience, right? You would select your Power Pixel that you've created. And I would just give it a name. For example, of viral visitors who scrolled 25%, right? And I would tell you everyone was on viral.com. And days retention, I'm going to talk about it in a little bit. I saw someone ask about it. For now, I'm just going to enter 30 days, right? And I'm going to say, scroll down at least 25%. Boom, that's it. Create the audience, right? And like from that point on, you literally have the audience inside your Facebook ads account. If you just install the Power Pixel, it will take a while to populate. It will take a while for it to grow because it can only start building that audience after you've added the Power Pixel to your website, just to be clear. And I just saw a question. Like what was it? What is your recommendation to start retargeting ads? Like, so I'm actually going to go back to this, make it easier. So like when to start, but probably more relevant is to when to end, right? So what I mean is like, if someone visits your website right here on day 0, let's call it day 0, I would not even wait to start retargeting, right? Because in the first, like right after they visit your website, they're your most top of mind. So I personally don't like to wait to retarget people, right? So I would not wait. However, how long you want to retarget, for example, like, do you want to target for like 7 days, or maybe like 14 or 30, or perhaps even like way longer, like 180, right? Like, there's never a right or wrong answer, but it depends on a couple of things. First of all, how much traffic do you have, right? Because if you have very little traffic to your website, because you can also do like a one day as well. If you have very little traffic to your website and you want to retarget people, for everyone who visited your website over the last 1 day, you might not have enough traffic, and you will realize that soon enough, because your ads won't even show up. It will not. You'll try to run an ad and it will just you get 0 views. So if you don't have a lot of traffic, you will have to go longer anyway. But then also it depends also on like basically how much risk you want to take, right? Like, because the rule of thumb is the shorter the time window, the higher your ROI is going to be, simply because you're just more top of mind. Like, if someone has seen visit your website, like for example, 180 days ago, right? They're not even remotely gonna be close to remembering you. Like, they don't know who you are. Like, it's as if they're brand new, right? But like 1 day, they still very much know who you are. 7 days, kind of know, and here it starts to fade away, right? So the longer time we have, like the less they'll still know. But it's also a bigger audience, right? So like, if you don't want to take too much risk and you're trying it out, I would always recommend to like start out with, like, for example, start out with 7 days and then just get a feeling of how it's going, right? If you don't have a lot of traffic and if it doesn't, your ad doesn't show up at all, then go for a longer period of time, like for example, 30 days, right? Like, if you have a little bit more money to spend, like, or at least you want to just get results fast, then like personally, I like 30 days. But again, if you want to keep risk low, you could start with 7 days, see what that does before you then move further down and actually increase that. Hopefully that answers your question, Frank. Cool. Does the plugin work on Weebly sites? I personally don't have experience with Weebly. The plugin I showed is that's actually a WordPress plugin. This code for the Power Connect Retarget, you can add it to any site as long as you can add a snippet of code, like a tracking pixel or something like that, on the site. I've never used Weebly, so I've got no experience with it. Like, this is Weebly. I've never used it, so I couldn't answer if they allowed it. But so far, pretty much every system I've seen allows to add your own pixel on it. Humphrey is asking, are we going to get the mind map? Yes, I'm gonna share the mind map, and it's gonna be inside your learning center, and then inside the inner circle right here, we'll add it right here, and you'll see the recording of today's video plus the mind map as well. So you will all get access to that as our Connect Suite customers, right? Tiny is asking, so I don't need to create a Facebook pixel, only a Power Pixel? Correct. Essentially what the Power Pixel is, it actually includes your Facebook pixel, right? So for those who already have their Facebook pixel added to their website, I'm actually going to show you a cool trick. Not even a trick, but something that might be good to know. is this. So let's say you already have a website with your Facebook pixel on it. You don't need to delete it. You can just keep it as is, But then before you copy this code to your website, there's this line of text right here. I'm not sure, can I zoom in? How do I zoom in? I don't know actually. Let me just see if I can zoom in somehow. Yeah, cool. Right here it says, check this in case you already have a Facebook pixel on your site, and you'll add the Power Pixel alongside it. If you check this, then the code will slightly change. As you can see, there's a small difference in the code. So if you already have the Facebook pixel on your site, just check this and then you copy paste this into the code. So you can just leave your Facebook pixel on your site. If you don't have the Facebook pixel on your site just yet, just leave it like that. Don't check it, and then copy paste it to your site. Cool, cool, cool. Any other questions about retargeting? And I really, I'm serious, if you're not using retargeting, you should. All right, Connect Suite or viral? Gideon is asking, right? So, oops. So I'm gonna say viral or Connect Suite. What do you recommend? Well, honestly, it really depends. There's no one size fit all. It really depends on what your business is currently doing, what your current goals are. I don't see them as either one or the other. Personally, I use them both. But if you're running Facebook ads, right? If you're using Facebook ads, then Connect Suite is basically free money. If you use it correctly, just by for example, using Connect or Target, which I just showed you guys and girls. This will make an ROI in itself. This, in that sense, it wouldn't cost you money. If you want to build up your list, or get people, get more exposure online by getting people to share, then a viral, right? So again, it really depends on where you are in your business, what you're currently trying to do. Are you trying to build your email list? Are you trying to run Facebook ads? Or are you trying to do both? So I can't really decide for that for you, but I hope that gives a little bit of an explanation. When would we have Mailing Boss from Builderall? I'm not sure if I know what that is. I don't know what Mailing Boss is, Eduardo, and I don't know what Builderall is as well. So I'm not sure if that's meant to me. Any general number of impressions, video views, percentage of views, content views at which it makes sense to start running retargeting? Yes, good question. Honestly, my answer is as soon as Facebook allows you to, as soon as Facebook starts running, showing your ads. If the audience size is too small, they won't even show it out of privacy concerns, right? But even if you have the lowest amount that Facebook actually allows, and that depends per case. They look at what the risk is in terms of privacy. That it seems to be that case. But as soon as they start showing something, it's worth it, because every 100 views is 100 views, right? So I wouldn't focus too much on it. I personally, I never look at hey, is this campaign is going to get enough views or not? I just try it out, go with the flow. If it has, awesome. If not, I'll increase the number of days or make it wider. But I wouldn't focus too much on it, because that's the good thing about running retargeting ads. Once you set it up, right? So you set it up so that you have your website, and you have then this custom audience created for the people who visit your website, custom audience, right? And you run ads to that. But then once you then start promoting people to your website, maybe from Facebook, or maybe YouTube, or whatever you're trying to do to get people into your website, right? Then this, because it's already set up, starts to work, right? So it's not even I would have this set up regardless of how much traffic you have. And then even if you don't have that much traffic yet, as soon as you have more, you will be prepared, and those people will actually see your ads. Hopefully that makes sense. Is it possible to rewatch the videos later? Yes, we're gonna show them into the dashboard. If a web host does not support tracking, this is Larry asking, if a web host does not support tracking pixel in some way, would it be a good idea to get a better web host? Trick question, right? Because the web host on itself doesn't have an influence on that. The web host, that would be web host would be companies for example, HostGator, right? Or what is it, SiteGround, right? Those are the hosting companies, and usually on a hosting company, then there's a system installed. So like, for example, WordPress, right? So WordPress is not the actual web host. Like the web host is like the company where you host your website. And just to make sure that's clear, because if you're talking about this, then they don't have an impact on that. It's all about which system you're using. But if you're using a more like a SaaS solution, which does everything together, like build a whole website, like for example, Weebly, right? If they don't support adding tracking pixels, then me as a marketer, I would definitely change. However, it's always good to consider that whatever you change into, like if you're comfortable with Weebly, right, for example, or any other system, usually they don't have those options because they want to make it super simple, right? And obviously the risk of moving to a system like custom, like WordPress, maybe it has all the options, but if you're going to be confused, that's not going to be good as well. So always keep that in mind, like before moving to something else, right? Check it out if you're comfortable with it, that it doesn't actually overcomplicate things. But as far as I've seen, pretty much every system out there allows you to do these kind of things, although sometimes you need to upgrade for a higher plan. Hopefully that makes sense. Kartra support for Connect Audience. Honestly, I'm just gonna Kartra. I'm not sure actually if their API supports it. I know that in the past they didn't support getting the leads. And just so everyone knows, Connect Audience, that's the service that you all have. It's inside your Connectio account. You can just go to retargeting email list, where you can create an audience from people who are on your email list, right? So you can even say like people who've, for example, they're on a certain list or they opened a certain email of yours, right? So you would just select your autoresponder, in my case, Active Campaign, and I can just say like, hey, if they're subscribed to a certain list, or if they received a certain email, or like, and I can create an audience for that, and I can show ads to specifically those people. And Justin is asking about Kartra, like, are they supported? And I know it a while back, their API didn't support it yet. Right now, honestly, I don't know. I know it's in our roadmap. It's like on a routine, like we check their APIs. So it might actually be already on the roadmap to be built. At the moment, we don't have it yet. Cool. How to integrate with OmniSend? Is that an autoresponder as well? Honestly, I don't know. Let's see if I'm not 100% sure from the top of my mind if we integrate with OmniSend. I have never used OmniSend myself. We don't natively integrate. However, what most autoresponders, they give you an HTML form code as well, and that we do support. So you can just select HTML form, and then for Connect Leads, that doesn't work for Connect Audience, but for Connect Leads, you can just submit your form code from OmniSend, paste it here, and every time you get a lead into Connect Leads, it would actually get it. But I'm not sure if that's what you're after or whether you're talking about retargeting, which we've been talking about right here. Let me just go back to the questions. How many leads on an email list is needed to make an audience on Facebook? How many emails do you have on your list, Johannes? I'm actually curious, because also it's not even just about the list size of your email list. It also depends on the source of your email list, right? And the best way to explain is this: like this, let's say the left side is your email list, right? Your email list. And on your email list, you got people, right? So this is an email address, this is an email address, email address, email address, email address, boom, boom, boom. And then Facebook, all those addresses are going to be sent over to Facebook, right? To Facebook. And then Facebook is going to do like, hey, is there a user with that email address? And they're going to do that for everyone. But the problem is, like, if people just enter, like they just, right here was maybe John@gmail, right? But that same person is actually, their Facebook account is more likely, is something like, I don't know, John@hotmail, for example. Like, it's a different email address. And that means it is not going to be a match. So Facebook can't actually recognize. So usually what you'll see happening is that the lower quality list, quote unquote, the lower the percentages that's going to be a match, right? Like if, for example, you're uploading a customer list, then usually you'll have a better match rate, because when people buy something, usually they use the primary email address. When they just want to get a freebie, they sometimes use a secondary email address, right? That they don't check as often. But I would say like you want to like ideally you like to make it really worth your while, right? I would say 1,000, 2,000 people would be great, right? But again, just like before, even below it, just give it a try and see if it works. Let's see. What does Connectio retargeting do that Facebook's built-in retargeting doesn't? Good question. Let me just show you right here. So obviously, like all this is possible on Facebook as well, like which URL and how many days. But like here's what's cool. Like we can do time on site in a specific amount of seconds, right? Which is cool. So that's you cannot go that specific with Facebook. You can say like, hey, only if they spend at least 4 minutes, right? For example, you can say like scroll down to a certain percentage on your page. It's not like this is my favorite. Like from all of these, even though we got some really cool things, this is the lowest hanging fruit. Scroll down to at least 25%. But also think like browser language. Well, we can just select if the browser language is a certain language, then retarget them. But also if the referral source contains, for example, YouTube.com. So now let's say this is my website and people came from YouTube and some other came from Facebook to my website. If I would set it up like this, referral source, it contains youtube.com, then only those people are going to be retargeted, people who came from YouTube to my website, right? So you can go like that. You can do the same thing for those who are a bit more advanced as well with, for example, UTM source, for those who are familiar. If you're using specific campaigns, you can say like only for that specific source, only those I actually want to retarget. To go back here, number of visits, how often they actually spent, which device they used. Facebook is doing that these days as well, though. And how many sessions? So, like, if they visit your website today, like 4 times, that's still you could say like, if you go to number of visits, that will be 4, right? But number of sessions, that's still counted as 1. 4 visits today would still only be 1 session, and that means that if you say like only people who visited like have at least 3 sessions, so like number of sessions is 3. It's not just people who are who visit multiple pages on your website today, but actually came back multiple times. So like they visit your site, they see all kind of pages, closed it down, and then later at another moment they came back. Like, and based on that, you know, like they're like really interested, right? This obviously mostly works best if you have more traffic or have people to get back. So hopefully that explains that better, Richard. Cool. So Builderwall is the page builder funnel similar to ClickFunnels. I've never used it actually. I've heard the term, but I've never used it. For someone who has a decade in the media production industry, what's best? Affiliate marketing or e-commerce, Shopify stores? That's a good question. Again, that I know I would say that's not something I could answer. Like affiliate, like I would say start with where your passion lies. And I know it's a common answer, but it's really the truth, because like regardless of what people say online, none of this is easy, right? It's not. Like all of that requires work, it requires focus, it requires to go the extra mile, and most of all, it requires to deliver value, right? Like you need to go all in, right? And that's just not going to happen if you're not fully committed, right? So personally, I've been active in both. I actually started out with e-com. Later on, I switched to affiliate. Like I would say, both equally, pretty much equal. Actually, I got a bias towards e-com. Reason why is because as an affiliate, you're always behind the scenes. But with e-com, like you can create your own brand, right? I wouldn't go for drop shipping, maybe to get started, but like ideally you create your own brand, and that way you really build something of value. You actually build a great business, right? Hopefully that answers it for you. Will there be a replay? Yes, there will be. I'll I'll add it inside the Learning Center. For all of you who are inside, this is only for our Connect Suite customers. So inside the inner circle, boom, we'll add it right here tomorrow. Does the Power Pixel deal with sales events? So does it know when someone has purchased? Good question, Tiny. So obviously Facebook has a way to track purchases, right? And if you have like we don't standard do like we don't recognize which ones it does it, but like the Power Pixel includes the Facebook Pixel. So whatever you currently have in your site in terms of like if you have the little code like which sends a tracking to Facebook, that will still work, right? So everything that you currently have in terms of tracking, it will still work. It will still be sent over to Facebook. Humphrey is asking, well, can I use your tools for my Facebook agency clients? Well, right now, Connectio is actually not a agency product. It is something that, like, I would love to hear if people have demand for that. If there's, we've been brainstorming whether we should release a agency product. Right now, it's limited to 3 different Facebook ads accounts. So it's not optimized for agency, but it's something we're definitely researching if there's demand for that. Does Connect Audience connect with ClickFunnels? That is what Dan is asking. So CA, I call that CA to like ClickFunnels. Like, does that match? Unfortunately, no. Simply because there is no API on ClickFunnels end that we can use. So basically, for Connect Audience to work, we need to get the email address. We need to get a list of all the people who are subscribed to a certain list, and the only way we get that is from ClickFunnels. And unlike most other autoresponders like ActiveCampaign and MailChimp and all these others, ClickFunnels, they don't have an API. But I've heard rumors they're working on something. So hopefully they will add that. As soon as they do, we will do our best to add it right away. Do you recommend MailChimp as an autoresponder? Yes, actually, I think it's a great system. I've used it in the past as well. So MailChimp is definitely good. I know that Drip, I've never used it, but I've heard a lot of good things about it, and they actually have a free plan as well. And personally, I am on ActiveCampaign, which is like maybe not the most user-friendly system. I thought I was writing things down, but the screen is not updating. Sorry for that. But yeah, as I was saying, I'm using ActiveCampaign myself, but that is not the most user-friendly system, I would say. Trying to get my iPad to work, which it doesn't, which is fine. Cool. I got Ursula is asking. I got Connectio, and actually, let me just do it like that. Ursula's asking, I got Connectio and a viral, but I haven't started a business yet. No list, no ads. Which sequence would you propose? If you don't have your list yet, you don't have a business yet, I would definitely recommend you start with a viral. And the reason why is because viral is a great way to create like a pre-launch list. Like even before you start, like I've seen authors as well, like before they even have the book ready, they do like a viral campaign where people can opt in to get like the first chapter of the book, for example, and then they'll have to share in order to get another chapter. Like, but what it does, like even before you have, it doesn't have to be a book obviously, but what it does before you even have started your business, you can start building momentum around it and start building an email list before your actual business exists. So then by the time your product or service is ready, you'll have an email list that you can just send out. So I would definitely recommend to do that because 100%. And then only start running ads, right? Mainly to when your business is ready, because obviously when you run ads, it costs money, right? And you want to make sure that people are going to be able to spend money to your business as well, because at the end of the day, you want to make a profit and actually not lose money, right? So let me just see, hopefully just go to the questions. Hopefully I'm not missing anything. There's quite a bit. Klaviyo, let me just check if, I'm just going to do a quick check. I have not used Klaviyo myself. Just checking something. Klaviyo works with Connect Leads. They do not work with Connect Audience, unfortunately. Tiny, you're most welcome. Most welcome, most welcome. Larry, good to know. Thanks for letting me know. And Mohamed is saying, I've run multiple email retargeting with poor results compared to Facebook ads retargeting. Is that a trend in e-commerce? Just me, so I need to sharpen my email marketing skills. Good question. Actually, I really want to show my iPad because I want to show something. But it is not working. I don't know why. How do we make it work? Just a second now. All right, now it should start to work. No, it doesn't. All right, no worries. We'll just do it without it. I'll do it differently. My apologies for that. All right, so going back, I'll just sketch right here. So the question is like, Mohamed is saying, I've run multiple email retargeting ads, but the results aren't as good as Facebook ads retargeting, right? So just to make sure, Facebook ads retargeting is like someone visit your website and you retarget them, right? And then email retargeting is like someone is on your email list. Let's make an email list. And then using Connect Audience, you create an audience and then you run an ad to those people, right? What I've seen work best is like if you do ads simultaneously when we're sending out emails. So let's say you have an email promotion for like a certain week, and you're sending out multiple emails during that week, right? These are all emails. Sorry for my poor quality of sketching things out. And then while this promotion is going on, all these people, they're going to see a Facebook ad as well. I've actually done a split test earlier where literally what I did is I cut down my email list in half, right? So cut down my email list in half, both like randomly selected, and both got the exact same emails, right? Like over a 7-day period. Just gonna sketch it out. Like, whoop, these are all emails. They got the exact same emails. These are all whoop. And the only difference was that for 50%, right, these people, I showed a Facebook ad. And what I did is I tracked how many sales I got from all those emails versus those emails, right? So from the Facebook ad, it definitely didn't seem that I got that many sales extra, right, on itself. However, from those emails, I did, and maybe you've actually seen the actual case study as well. I did 50% more revenue from those emails for people who from this part of the group, people who've seen my ad. So that told me like I don't always look for an instant ROI on my email retargeting ads, but I make sure that people see my offer in multiple places. Like I'm sending them emails about a certain offer, and I want them to see that same offer on their face, like in the evening, like they're checking on their phone and they see a video of me about the same thing as well. And they might not purchase. They might not, but then later on, the next day they get another email. It's like, oh, yeah, like that sounds really good, because maybe they've seen the social proof ad that I just showed you, right? Like now it's not just me promoting, but they've seen other people, customers of ours, say that it's awesome. And then the next day the email is going to be more persuasive. So that's how I personally use the email retargeting ads. Hopefully that answers it and helps you, Moment. And let me just pick one last question, if there's any, and then we will call it a day. What is the best way to use power pixels relative to ad campaigns? One campaign or one overall? Good questions. How do you mean exactly? Right, I'm going to sketch it out again. I think that makes more sense. Like what I would do is I would create, actually I don't need to sketch it out. I would create, like if you're starting out, one audience I would actually do your main website with people who scroll down to 25%. That's one audience, right? And I would have, personally, I create one retargeting campaign with that ad. You can test multiple ads and all that, but I wouldn't like go all in on fancy with all kind of different audiences, all kind of different campaigns. Like I like simplicity. So I would start with that 25% people, 25% scroll down over the last, for example, 7 days, or like personally, I prefer 30 days. Run ads to that. And yes, I would try multiple ads, like the creative, sure, but I would start simple and go from there. Hopefully that helps. All right, everyone. Thanks all for being here. Hopefully you got value out of all this. Like I said, I'll shoot the replay. I'll add it to the dashboard. Plus, I'll add the mind node file as well, the actual what I showed on my screen. I'll add that there as well. Again, this is all just for our community right here, Connect with customers. I appreciate you all being a customer. And I really appreciate you all being here, spending time with me, having a little bit of fun, and hopefully as well. And I don't know what time it is for you in the Netherlands. For me, it is 5:15 right now. So still got a bit of work to do. And hopefully you will all have an amazing day as well, wherever you are in the world. Thanks for showing up, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you.